Yes. Yes, y'all. Back again. Motown Philly back again. JN's back again for the win. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on to your butts. Yo, what up, Tracy? That's right. You knew it had to happen. It had to happen. Yes, yes. Yo, I gotta do that real quick. You filthy gum hustler. Welcome to the show. Welcome all and sundry. And if you're familiar with the JNN, the Jamar Nicholas Network, you know I'm going to give you the universal greeting. Well, hello. Welcome. You know it, Suze. Well, hello. Yo, it may almost be May, but it's always July when Julian's in the building. What up? What up, July? What up, though? Jamar on the iPad and the Sixers on the TV. Philly stand up. Meow, 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 meow. Trust the process, bro. You know what we're doing out here in these streets. No, not yet. We're working on it. We're doing this early. Pose them if you got them. You know what to do. All right, let's bust out an early one. Pretty as a picture. And as you know, everybody, I'm always camera ready. Well, hello. What up, Tracy Ford? The animals was good. Everybody, welcome to Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN, Jamar Nicholas. Hope everybody's well. Let me get my light right. Let me get my light bright, making things with light. Anybody back in the day have a light bright? We never, you know, we've crossed so many topics off the list about the 70s and the 80s. I don't really like talking about the 90s. The 90s were kind of whack, but there was some good music. But one thing about the 70s and 80s in our childhood, a lot of Gen Xers in the building. Maybe that'll be our first one. Put our first ones and twos check. Let's identify ourselves. My cat's sneezing all over the place. Any Gen Xers in the building? Put your ones in the chat. Any millennials? Put your twos. Any posts Gen Zers? Put your threes up. And any boomers? Put your fours up. Okay, boomer. I want to see who I'm talking to. I want to think that most of the people that are attuned to Coffee Break with JN are Gen Xers. It's Coffee Break with Gen X. Yeah, I see those ones. Put those ones up in the building. That's right. You know, the best generation, latchkey children. What up, man? You're not that old. Come on. I have a lot to talk about, but one of the things that I mentioned, I was out of town for a second, was the fact that people of my generation, solid Gen Xer, were probably latchkey children. And for all you young people out there and for the kidlets, latchkey children are people or kids that had their own set of keys and came home after school to a dark house, um, where you had a lot of specific rules about how you engage with the world when no one was home and you were. Usually, you had some sort of order to go immediately home after school. When you got in, you had to like call the neighbor or something like that, or you called your mom's at her desk or whatever her job was. You let somebody knew you were home, and we don't have to like uh, era shame anybody, but there was no internet, there were no cell phones. Hell, there were hardly beepers. Like if your dad was either a drug dealer or a doctor, he had a beeper, and then you also had some rules of engagement while you were in the house, like no TV before you do your homework. Don't touch the stove. Dinners in the oven or something like that. You could use the oven, but you couldn't use the stove. I'd love to hear some of your things. Tell me some for you latchkey kids in the room. Tell me some of your orders when you came home from school. What you had to do. I'd love to talk about that. What up, notorious JRD? JRD says I was definitely a latchkey kid. Facts. Oh, going back to the light bright. Fletch, what up, Fletch? Fletch says I had a light bright, but once that black construction paper got holes in them, you couldn't do much with it after. Parents never bought replacement paper. Oh, that's right. That was the thing. So it was basically a light box, and you slid and like you did the. I guess there were puzzles. I don't know what you would call them. The pictures by sliding a black piece of construction paper inside the frame, and then you would just kind of like put the pegs in where the holes were. Pause. Where's my pause at? That was a good one. I was too slow with that. So, and then it would light up. Now, I never had a light bright, but so was the thing that the pegs were different colors? It was just a light box, and you put different colored pegs in it, which made like an orange one glow orange or a yellow one glow yellow. Um, but yeah, let me hear some of those stories from your childhood roadmap from your mother's. JRD, my eyes are weird tonight, guys. I think my glasses are filthy. JRD says, weird. My mom never had me call her. It's okay. To be fair, at 12, I started working for as a bookkeeper. So, dot, dot, dot. Tracy for the animals. What up, Tracy for the animals? I always had a list of chores to do before the parents got home. If I didn't have them done, I'd get a beating. We could talk about that. Or whooping or whipping, wherever you're from. Or a licking. Pause. Fletch says we were left alone for a few hours each day, but there was no oversight. My sister took up smoking. I had Atari 2600 asteroids to keep me out of trouble. Facts. Um, Suze just said, it's, um, Sue says, embarrassing. My dearly departed mama kept me and my sister daycare until we were 13. Wow. Sip of coffee for Suze. Sip of coffee for Suze's mama. Put your sippers up. Let's give Queen Suze a virtual hug tonight. Let's get your sippers up. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of slow. Slow tonight. It's been a long week. Oh yeah, I got a sip. Get your sippers up. What's going on, you guys? Our numbers are low today. It's okay. What's usually when the coffee break numbers are low is that there's something else on. Maybe it's the Sixers game. I don't know. But July already said he's watching the Sixers game and got me on the piz ad. Let's see. Anybody else want to share? Who a tanned hide? We're showing our age. Matt, what up, Matt? Another sip of coffee. I'm gonna get rid of all my coffee if I keep going at this speed, at this clip. Another sip of coffee for the Waringo dynasty. There's one thing about this. When I put the sippers up, I lose the comments. I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's right. Sipper for Mama Peggy. Um, where's the John? Sorry, guys. I'm pretty jet lagged. We were left alone. Oh, there's Matt. Matt says, Mom was always home, so keying of latches. No keying of latches for me. All right, good for you. Only chore is to clear the table after dinner. Huh. Yo, Bros, what up, Bros? Bros says fourth quarter Sixers. Game on a TV, coffee break on a computer. I like that you're dual wielding like Halo 2. Notorious JRD says, is jet lag bigger from Texas? Huh. Uh, nah. It's funny. I don't necessarily want to say I'm jet lagged. I'm tired all around, but I think it all kind of is cumulative. for a lot of you guys who know or follow me on other socials, I was in Texas for the Texas Library Association Conference 2022, where, well, let me get the sip off the screen. I'm sloppy tonight, you guys. Where I was there with Scholastic, and we debuted the ARC, or Advanced Reader Copy, of Leon the Extraordinary. It was very exciting. Um, and there was a lot of signing, a lot of well wishing, a lot of really excited people. I had a couple of incredible signings. I had a panel with some other really cool people. I'm just getting the word out there to the librarians and other educators of the world that Leon's on his way. If you haven't copped Leon Extraordinary yet, you can pre-order it wherever books are sold. That's not a tall order. That's real rap. Where's my joint? That's real rap. Uh, I'm very excited. The energy was so strong, and there was just like a lot of really great well wishing. And now I'm home, so we'll probably be doing it again and doing it over. And my dance card is starting to get full, so I have some schedule commitments coming up soon, and I'll let you know about it as soon as I can release it in the public. But very exciting times here. So thanks for asking, JRD. Um, the chat's pretty quiet. What's going on in here? Mojo Jojo, ho ho ho, Yizzo, cheeky wife in the building. It's good. What's going on, Jojo? Where's the man at? It's good to see y'all. Somebody posted on Twitter when I reposted it. They had another top 10 cheesesteaks of Philly article. And I didn't hate on this. And, I think people just assume Philly's just cheesesteaks and the Rocky statue and blah, 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 blah. And I've told people on several occasions that you can go down the street and get a really good cheesesteak. You don't have to drive 40 minutes to go to some spot downtown. Probably your local pizza spot makes a decent cheesesteak. But, if you've got people coming from out of town, or tourist steaks, as I call them, usually people wind up in the wrong spots. Everybody from Philadelphia will unanimously tell you that Pat's and Geno's are whack, and you stay far away from them unless it's 3 in the morning and you're drunk. But still, I would not be out in the street in South Philly at 3 in the morning drunk looking for a cheesesteak. But anyway, some of the things that this person wrote about weren't generally on people's top 10 lists, and it kind of made me curious. I'm like, oh, well, there's some new things, some new places. And I kind of remarked that generally people like dig their heels into the trenches. Hey, who's got the best cheesesteak in town? This place. Nah, man, you're stupid. It's this place. And then there's a fist fight. But you know what? We're dignified people, right? We're people of means, people of leisure. Let's try something different for once, right? So some of the places I was like, huh. Now, I'm way too old and my constitution is way too slow to just go on a cheesesteak tour because it'll kill you. Remember how they nerfed Cookie Monster? Now he says cookies are a sometimes food. Cheesesteaks are a sometimes food, yo. You can't eat that stuff all the time, real rap. It'll kill you. I'm not pause real rap. And for you guys that don't know it, that's me brushing my waves when I do real rap. That's a very Philly thing. Yo, real rap, son. I mean, so one of the places, or two of the places that stuck out to me was Ishkabibbles. And Ishkabibbles is a staple on South Street. South Street is like the main drag of Center City where people like go to be seen. And again, like I'm way past that age limit. I'm not trying to go creep in a car or like drive slow or whatever, but people still go out there, and it's changed a lot since what it used to be. But some of the main things on South Street is Jim's Steaks, and if I'm not mistaken, and maybe JoJo, you can tell me, Jim's is very specific. I don't think Jim sells French fries. I think you get a steak and some chips and get out, or you can go upstairs and sit in the dirty parlor and eat your steak and look out the window. Um, but across the street and like down a little bit is Ishkabibbles, and Ishkabibbles has the best chicken cheese steak in the city. Chef's kiss, yo. You'll know you're there because it's got a purple painted door. I think it's still purple. Yep. Jojo says I have to make my own because we're in upstate. And why? Yeah, I feel you. You got to get the steakums out. Ross says my friend yells at the visiting teams after UD Gates. Pats and Cheetos is a lie. The cake is a lie. Right? And here we are again. Not the cheesesteak. We're not going to spend too much time on that, but it's a thing. I remember that, Jojo. But anyway, let's see what else is going on. JRD says, I'm watching Commenting while drawing the art for chapter 6 of Saturday's Mystery Theatre story. And good job. I like when my caffeines are being creative. I hope Coffee Break with JN lifts your spirits. It lifts your sails. You sit down and you get focused and you do your best work because I'm your muse. That's what I bring to you. I am but a vessel. So I appreciate that. Sue says we shot a Geico commercial overnight downtown at 8 Geno's and Jim's both that night. Yeah. So it's Geno's with an E, and then after you got that Geno steak, the best way to eat a Geno steak, you take it and you place it in a garbage can. No, I'm not going to be that hateful. I'm one of those people. Like I try to say, let people enjoy things. If that's what you'd like to eat, that's great. I just think there's better options in the city. Um, JRD says, I do love a good chicken cheese. Are you talking about chicken cheesesteak? You gotta say cheesesteak, bro. Just say the whole thing. But I really like it if I can get it with super fresh tomatoes, lettuce, and feta. You better not be talking about cheesesteak. We don't put feta cheese on a cheesesteak out here, fam. Get cut saying stuff like that. Carlos, cheer. What's up, brother? Good to see you, my man. That's right. Caffees. Don't decaf up in this Mickey Ficky, this Humpty Dumpty, this Major Falcon. and hello, let me get a sipper. Guys, put your sippers up for the matron saint of coffee break, Mama Carla. Hello, Mama Carla. Mama Carla says, hi, Brother King Creative. Hello. Matt's gonna buck the system and say, I'm a tuna melt guy myself. Oh, yo. There's my newest joint. So this is my newest joint, right? There's a guy on Instagram, and I already forgot. I think he's on TikTok too. I forgot his handle. But he makes sandwiches from old recipe books. Like I guess like in the 30s or whatever, people were like really into making sandwiches. And he just was like, here I am. And today we're going to, he's like, has his hands in his pockets, just staying in his kitchen. Hey, today we're going to make a poblano and pimento sandwich. Let's give it a go. And it's very light. And the guy's pretty affable and it makes me feel good. And who doesn't love a sandwich? So I'm with it. Reynaldo, what's up, my bro? Yo, so we planning a Philly trip in June during my boys' summer vacation. Ishka Bibbles then? Maybe. I always invite people to come to the city. You may not see me because I'm kind of called. I'm spoken for a lot, but let me know if you give me like a month's notice. We could try to meet up. But I've also said we could have a coffee break with JN Cafe meetup, but I'm not organizing it. You guys organize it, and I'll show up. That makes me think of downtown. There used to be a lot of this is back in the era of comic book community things on the early internet where it was the era of forums, right? And everybody had a forum, and I used to hang out. You know, some of you may know about the infamous Ellis Forum, the Warren Ellis Forum, the WEF, and there were many others. But I used to hang out on the mob board. I had my own board. That's where the original JNN came from. The original Jamar Nicholas network I had, it was from my old Sweatshop Press website, and that was my self-publishing business name. And I had all of these, I guess, I don't know, slots, pause. And I was just like, yo, I have message board space. Anybody want it? And I wound up like, there are people that remember that more than I do, but there were like a lot of people that had message boards on the JNN. Like I remember Rick Remender was on there. I think Mike Norton was on there. I don't think Hawthorne was on there. I think Hawthorne always had another thing. Jamal, is Jamal here? Jamal could tell me. And but alternatively, I hung out on the mob board, the Mac, Oming, and Bendis board. And I was a foo in good standing, a friend of Oming. So sip of coffee to my man, Mike Avon Oming. That's my dude right there. And what was really cool about hanging out on the thing with those guys is they would have meetups all the time, and they would come into the city. Like there were a lot of people who were from New York, New Jersey, and Philly, and they would kind of pick a city, and they would just kind of like take over a bar, and then Omi would show up, and just play some pool. It was fun, but we were a lot younger then. Um, yo, K Dub, what's up? Sip of coffee for my man Kenny Wong. Kenny, I ain't seen you in a minute, bro. Put your sippers up. Where are my sippers? There you go. Sip of coffee for K Dub. What's Gucci, bro? I didn't lie, Jerry Kraft. I never lied. I told y'all I'm hard to pin down. Pause. That's just how it is, man. It's like I need lots of notice. I need cushion. Pause. Your caffeine's fast. I love it. But yeah, Jerry Kraft knows. It's real hard for me to just be like, yeah, sure, let's get a drink. You gotta tell me in April though. Oh, and just for clarity's sake, I'm rocking the original Mama's Boys Jerry Kraft mug. Oh, I gotta do Jerry's intro. Jerry Kraft, what up, Jerry Kraft? All of you know Jerry Kraft, Newbery Medal award-winning Jerry Kraft, New York Times best-selling Jerry Kraft, banned books Jerry Kraft, first base Jerry Kraft, second base Jerry Kraft, shortstop Jerry Kraft. What's up, my man? Good to see you. Missed you on here. What up, El Jamal? Jamal says Hawthorne was never online too much. Facts. I don't remember him on any forum. I thought, didn't he? Yeah. You may be right. I could have given him a JNN spot. I don't remember. Oh no, Kitty, you got. You were so careful. Well, I hope you rest up, bro. No. Yeah, man. Sorry to hear that. Look at everybody. Everybody's got love for Kenny Wong. K Dub, you rest up, bro. You be strong. You stay up, like we say in the streets. um. So wait, what were we talking about? All right, I'm gonna do a reset. Let's do a ID. You're watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. I go by many names. Some call me Captain Scholastic. Other people call me Johnny Carson. It's wild stuff. The Black Dick Cavett. But my favorite, still for the longest time, is Jean-Luc Picard in Gage. I'm the captain of this ship, yo. What happens here? Well, you get to hang out with me and my caffeines, and you get to watch me drink coffee and run my mouth. And you know what happens when I'm out of coffee? Video over. That's a wrap. So while I'm here, there's other ways you can support me besides looking at my beautiful man face. You can, where's the John? Become a patron of mine on Patreon. I have a very cool Patreon campaign going on. You can go to patreon.com/JAMAR Nicholas and see what's going on. For the price of a hot sausage with spicy brown mustard, you can be one of my best buds, and we'll show you those guys now. We'll do a GLO. Good looking out to these people below on the crawl who, for low, low price, get shouted out by me. And also, you have my eternal gratitude and love. Doesn't that make you feel good? Um, and I'm so fortunate. You guys are very fortunate. I'm so blessed to be able to hit you with another crawl. That's crawl two, Electric Boogaloo. Thank you so much. You might be on the fence, like, man, enough of this cat. But you want to turn away, but you can't. I'm like a handsome car wreck. You got to watch. You got to just see what happens next. You can see more of that on Patreon. Also, which is probably the price of admission for a lot of people, you get to watch the Right El Jamal Fortnightly podcast. It ain't hard to tell, or IAHTT, featuring myself and my best hermano Michael Hawthorne. You know Mike Hawthorne, Deadpool artist, Superior Spider-Man artist, Wonder Woman artist, all around Renaissance man Mike Hawthorne. That's right. We get together and answer questions from our Patreon patrons every 2 weeks. We just had a live one at Fan Expo Philly a couple weeks ago, which was our 50th episode. Do you believe that? 50. 50. Yo, what's the word? Thunderbird, what's the price? 50 twice. So yeah, that's good, right? I think that's worth your time and money and sanity. So thank you. Thanks for watching. All right, there's lots of comments. Let's see what's going on in here. Yes, right. Patronus is invite unite. That's right. That's right. I make this look good. I was pausing too much. Yo, what up, Raph? Sip of coffee for Philly legend, Raphael Tiberino. What up, Raph? It's good to see you. I'm gonna give a sip to you, my man. A sip of coffee for Big Raph. Raphael is one of my earliest inspirations and a really great friend of mine. Love the Tiberinos with all my heart. Good to see you, my man. What's good, man? What's new? What's going on with you? That's right. You get the hot, hot. You get the hot, hot music. The hot music. That's right. Kenny Wong says, "I was never aware of those message boards. I would have loved it." Yeah, that was a whole bop for a minute, and that was before. I think a lot of things changed once Google kind of took over. Like, because there were still kind of like pockets of people. Like there was like the Yahoo message groups. Yahoo groups was a big thing. The people who had message boards attached to their websites. And this is kind of like at the end of like the AOL Prodigy era, and people still hadn't really mastered the internet yet. Um, and then this is also really before blogging too. Like once Blogspot really caught on, that kind of just ended it because I guess people felt like they could just have their own thing and they didn't need to like glom onto somebody else's shine. So I think that was really the nail in the coffin for that. But it was fun while it lasted, and and I feel like there's things that are trying to bring that back. Um, I feel like Discord is kind of well, I think Discord is the closest thing to me, like AOL Instant Messenger. I tried Discord. I don't really love it. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's a lot of things. I'm really old man in it with Discord. I'm just like, what am I supposed to be doing? Why are we doing this? But yeah, you get in where you fit in, right? Yeah, man, that's truth. Oh, Fletch just called me. We're doing a coffee check. If you're new to Coffee Break with JN, what happens from time to time is that the caffeines want to see what's in the cup, yo. So I will appease the mob, and we're gonna reverse Drake. You know what reverse Drake means? Started from the top. Now we here. All right, you guys. You're not gonna like this. Oh, Denzel gif. Not good. So either I need to talk slower or drink less. Yep, social media killed the forums. Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, that might have been what was the big thing back then? Maybe Live Journal. Live Journal was popping, and then I think from Live Journal, then it was MySpace, and MySpace kind of like changed the game, right? And then remember Comic Space? Remember that happened? That was the thing. And then like once Twitter and Facebook and all that. Oh, Tumblr. How could I forget Tumblr? But yeah, I agree with you. Bross says I was big into MTs in college. It was a shirt and gig poster artist message board. Lots of big artists came out of there. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of like you'll hear a lot of people, a lot of cartoonists talk about Shane's board. When Shane Glines was running, I think they called it the drawing board, and it was just a forum. It was just filthy with cartoonists. Matt, right? Didn't I think Mike Ringo used to hang out on that, and that's before Deviant Art also. And it was, I think it was hard for a lot of pros to kind of find other pros. So that was a really popping board. And then some of the art cliques started doing their own thing. Like I remember, I'm gonna get this wrong, and somebody's gonna get mad at me. My man Scotty Young and those cats were doing, was that Lead Heavy? And I can't remember who was in that. I think it was Scotty. Was Sanford in that? Some of you comic book dudes and all this stuff. Then there was Artzilla, and I think Artzilla was LaShawn's thing, right? And then there was Pencil Jack, and there was a Inkers thing, and like there was like so many of those things. Yeah, Lead Heavy. I said it right, right? I know Ken Lashley was one of those. Yo, what up, Mizzle Kisses? Sip of coffee for my man Mark Manley. Yeah, where's my sippers at? Put your sippers up. That's why I'm running out of coffee. I'm doing too many sippers. What's up, bro? It's good to see you, man. Hope you're safe and well. Uh JRD says, "Oh geez, Tumblr. I'm putting together a book of my webcomic that was hosted on Tumblr 10 years ago, and their archive system stinks." Yeah, I never really got too heavy into Tumblr. But then didn't it kill it got killed when they took the porn off, isn't that what happened? That's right. Now you can just have Facebook groups, but only like, and Bros, you're almost too old to be on Facebook, right? Facebook is whack now, isn't it? And I'm not even getting into the whole what happened with Twitter the other day, but it's I don't know. It's like I feel like at this point, is it even worth migrating to the next thing? Like what is your next thing? What are you getting out of social media that makes you even like click on this stuff? Oh, right. Sue says anyone on Clubhouse seem to be like the new live version of chat rooms, but seems to have flamed out quick. I hear nothing about it now. Yeah, it was hot for a minute, and I think it was hot because it was kind of exclusive because you had to have an invite, and it was only on iPhones, and now I think it's on all the platforms, and I think it's just open now. I think that's what it was. It was exclusivity that's now over. So I think that kind of killed it. But Twitter started doing that. It's called what is it? Me and Scott Kurtz were doing a like an audio thing on Twitter. Like he just went live, and I was like, oh okay. And then he invited me to speak. And we kind of did a talk show and people for like an hour. People were, obviously they were there to hear Scott Kurtz, and it just kind of turned into a thing. It was kind of fun, but that seems like the same thing Clubhouse is. Oh, and Sue's because I put you on the screen. You got to get a Sue's pose. Come on, you guys. When I say Sue's, you say pose. Sue's. That's pretty good. Spaces, yes. Thank you. Thanks, Bros. It's Twitter Spaces. I was thinking about doing a space, but like I don't know. Like you guys, you guys see me anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go live on a space and see how it goes. Live space. Mark says we occasionally use Clubhouse, but sometimes it has some wackos show up. So it's very Lord of the Flies. I have the conch, right? Because there's like a speaker, and then you can like allow other people to speak, and then you can mute them if you want. And I think I heard what was it on that Kevin Samuels show? People like don't mute me or whatever. I don't know. I think people just want to be loud. Um, K Dub says he's used Clubhouse. JRD says I think Tumblr started their downward spiral with my webcomic. I'll leave that there. K Dub says I remember the AOL chat boards. I remember the members had crazy names like our little. I agree. Bross says it's like a pop-up podcast talk radio. I love it. Soccer stuff. Okay, maybe you talk about spaces. July says message boards. What a time! What a time to be alive. Tumblr was special. It's okay now since it got sold again for way less money. I think people can have prawn on it. They can have pretzel sticks. That's what we're going to call that tonight. You can have pretzel sticks on the internet. Again, Twitter Spaces is a clubhouse. Twitter bite is a total bite, yo. I agree. I'm a little. There you go. That's good. Matt says I watch so many YouTube podcasts now that I'm barely on social media anymore. I'm a PhD. That's a whole other bop. That's so funny. Speaking of YouTube, there's like a bunch of I don't they're not influencers. There's kind of like all these little subgroups of people who are trying to like save everybody else's soul. And there's one cat who just has like I don't know, like a 3 hour long live where people like I think he has a call in thing, and he just kind of like he tries to decode the it's like a battle of the sexes type of show where he just kind of talks about what's wrong with women and they need to get over themselves, and then women call up to yell at him, and then he just like dunks on them, and then it just kind of washes and repeats. I guess it's good work if you can get it. Tracy for the animal says I haven't really been into social media since MySpace. Wow. That's a blessing right there. Think of all the time you get back from just, even just sitting in bed with the photo on your chest doing a doom scroll. At some point your brain shuts off and you're not really doing anything. Yo, July. Tell me how you really feel, my bro. That's funny. JRD says, with Facebook and what's TW? Twitter? Is that what you're talking about? Time Warner? Oh, okay. For Facebook and Time Warner, I know what you're talking about. Not allowing promotion posts to really get seen. I just use the messaging functions to keep up with friends, and I'll occasionally post stuff. Gotcha. I think, and yeah, JRD, you're onto something. I think newsletters are going to make a big comeback. As I've been collecting, I didn't do it this time, but if you saw on um, some of the crawls, I have a little barcode. No, I have a little QR code. Where is it? I'll put it up here. Where you can boop on that and you can go to my sign up for my newsletter. And I'm going to probably this summer I'll start it, and that might be a nice vein of communication with me and what's going on in the studio outside of the Patreon. And I want to do some stuff like maybe selling pages or selling art or doing some giveaways and things. But I think, just like this, the noise of what's on social media is deafening, and maybe it's time for newsletters to come back. I wonder what you guys think. Tell me what you think. Okay, gotcha. Thanks. That's right. Yeah, and this is funny. I remember when QR codes came out. This was like the early thousands, right? They're like, there's a QR code, but you didn't have a way to do anything with it. Like the tech was there, but you couldn't boop it, right? It wasn't set up so you could just point your phone at it. Like now, I remember you had to maybe get a QR code reader app on your phone to then boop it. But then it still really wasn't, it didn't really work that well. But now I think the QR code is the thing that us Gen Xers think that other people want, but I don't really know if that's necessarily the case. July says, "Oh, it's real rap time. Hold on, where's it, John? What are we talking about here?" I was gonna say, get the back. July says, "Yo, so real talk. I think comics YouTube is actually way impactful to comics." More than social media ever thought it was. I think you're onto something. The views these people get and what some of these folks are saying is wild crazy. I agree with newsletters and especially paid newsletters like Substack. Yeah, I don't know if I'm in the Substack, but I get it. Yeah, I mean, like even like cartoonist kayfabe is booming, and there's some other cats on there that are doing big things. Um, Yeah, so I tend to agree with you, and that even kind of goes into like podcasts. Like when we were doing Comic Book Diner, my first podcast with my buddies John Gallagher and Rich Faber, that was straight audio, and it was also kind of like pre Skype. We didn't talk about Skype. I guess that's a whole other thing where it cost money to do that, or you had to go find an audio program, a talking telephony program so you could talk to more than two people and record it. Now that's like that stuff is so commonplace and nobody even thinks twice about it. You see a lot of those videos or like reels or TikToks where there's some dude standing on South Beach, like interviewing girls with his iPhone, like so whatever. Like that's just kind of where we are now. It's interesting. Bra says, yeah, now all the camera apps have built-in readers. Came back with the hands-freeness of post 2020. The QR code. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. JRD talks about QR codes. Yeah, our big Shakes a Cow banner is going away in favor of a QR code banner that directs to an info site and newsletter sign up. Let's do a QR. Let's do another ones and twos. If you actually use QR code, okay, there's two things. I don't know if this is going to work. If you are one of my creators and you use QR codes in your business, put a one in the chat. Or if you're someone who actually boops on QR codes, put a two in the chat. As I kind of think that people don't really use QR codes like we think they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Real rap. All right. While you guys are working on that, I might do another ID. All right. So okay? Right now, those at 1.5. You kind of do both. Okay. Jamal says none. Jamal, can you talk about that? So if you're like, well, I mean, maybe I'm asking the wrong question because, especially because we're still in the pandemic, remember? And you go to the restaurant and they don't have paper menus anymore. There's a little John on the table with a QR code, and you boot that and look at the menu. That's kind of cool, right? Like you're saving paper, and now you have this thing in your phone, and it's like, cool. I want the rib tips. Pause. But like if you're at the bus shelter and you're waiting for the bus and there's a ad with a booper, do you do it? Yeah, see, Matt just caught up to where I was going. July says you had to use QR codes in this pandemic era at restaurants. I love July so much. I can hear his voice when he's typing. They don't have paper menus. I'm outside. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you. JRD says I wore my shakes eating a hamburger shirt one day running errands. Sorry. I'm human. Which has a QR code built into the art. Oh, that's fancy. And a guy at the UPS shop scanned it and ended up buying a shirt. That's cool. I guess Mark, you're not doing that. I feel you. And again, to each his own. Like if you're like looking through the blinds and waiting for your Peapod order to come, that's cool. There's no hate on coffee break. You want a QR code for rib tips? I'll see what I can do. Sue says if the QR code is on something you can actually scan, on TV commercials they go by too fast and aren't effective. Right, like it kind of needs to just be there for a minute. Jared's giving me the business. No, man. I'm burning the candle at both ends. You know how it works. Suze wants to know what rib tips are. Somebody want to explain that to Suze? And while we're at it, I'm going to drop in one more Suze pose and then we'll do a ID. Where's the time gone, you guys? We felt we just got started. Too many sippers, that's what it is. You thought I was paused. No. I almost ended the broadcast. I almost hit the wrong thing. Uh, oh yeah. I mean, that's a big thing now. Like, and just kind of to what JRD was saying, a lot of people are incorporating QR codes into their banners, or they might have a little like stand-up joint on their table with the booper. And I mean, it just makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And now I think we're heavily in the world of not having business cards. How many of you guys have business cards anymore? Like, I think for us old heads, you just have them because you like that's kind of what you did. But if you've ever tried to give your card to a young person and they don't want it, is the funniest thing. Or they'll take it and put it down and take a picture of it and give it back to you. People don't want that. That people don't want the paper anymore. Facts. Usually if I have an option to use a QR code or to like type it in, I just type it in. I don't know. It's not an immediate reaction to me yet. Because we're old, Jamal. Oh, the you know what? Like now, here's everybody coming at the end of the thing. Jane says business cards are cool. I still agree. I have a lot of old business cards. I used to not collect them, but your friendly neighborhood Grand Poobah knows a lot of people. So I have a lot of business cards. And at one point I was doing a 3-ring binder with the business card joints in it. And and it's like this big, and I probably should just go through it and throw it out. Probably half of the information isn't right anymore. Ronaldo says, I literally just got new cards made. Is there a QR code on the back of your business card, Ronaldo? Oh, yep. See, there you go. Carolyn, what's up, Carolyn? Carolyn says, yes, the young people taking photos just instantly looking you up online in front of you. Isn't it the weirdest thing? They just look at you and then like go, oh, you're Wikipedia? Yeah, yeah, and that's weird. I will send you all my old business cards. K Dub, Kenny says, I love the QR code when I have set up my camera to my phone. It makes it super easy to set up. I'm afraid to say, damn technology. I love technology. I didn't know this was a topic, but you guys are really biting into QR codes. I spend a lot on cards for no return on investment. The brochure will be better as they will have info on our product, which for us is more important. Okay. Tracy for the Animals says the little postcard size cards with the art and contact info are great for Comic Cons. So you mean kind of like a legit postcard, right? Yeah, and it showcases the art too. Yeah, bro, put that QR code on the back. You should have checked with the Brain Trust first. You know the universal greeting. Well, hello. What up, Paul Pate? You know Paul Pate. What up, Paul Pate? Paul Pate says, "Well, hello. Just got home from the grocers." That's how old school is that? The green grocers. And JRD with the win. Just get stickers of a QR code. Yeah, you could go and you could buy a thing of label paper, like Avery label paper from Staples, and then go print out your QR code and then just repeat it across the thing, print it out, cut them out, put them on. That's it. That's it. Carolyn says, I've seen some vendors at cons put up a little stand up board, paper or chalkboard, or a small easel with their social info, and it says, take a photo. Oh, I have a whole other thing. I don't know how I feel about it. Of people who turned their comic book convention booth into like a pop-up one-stop shop with plants and like, it's almost like a little window slit. Pause. That their head sticks out. I will say right here on camera that Chris Schweitzer has the most amazing exhibition booth. That guy is incredible. But it's kind of like what just happens when you just used to put your comic book on the table. I remember that whole wave of all of a sudden everybody needed a banner. And then everybody needed a banner that was in that silver joint that like collapses. And then, like you can't go down Artist Alley and not have a banner behind your table. Now people have the wraps, like the table wraps, which are drawn on it. You know what I mean? There's kind of like a weird comic book convention Joneses thing, but you kind of need that, right? That's all part of the game. El Jamal says, my business cards have hidden spot UV elements. Wow. People like them because they're different. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love business cards, but you know me, I have my own gimmicks. My last business card is the I Met JAMAR sticker that has all my info on it. So, but that's me. Kitty Wong says, I'm gonna get a business card that when you scan the QR code, it'll say pay me. Was it the greengrocer? All right. Mark says we made a QR code for our donation box and donations went up dramatically. All right. This is the era of the QR code. The next level card is the one with the NFC chip in it, then just give people that info to their phone directly. Oh, like you tap it, right? Yo, do you remember? I'm going back in time. I had a Palm Pilot. That's not the story I want to tell. One of the eras of phones, it might have been the Nokias or the Razor. That was my before I turned into a BlackBerry dude. I love the Motorola Razor. That thin profile, and then you open it up like, wow, I love that Razor. There was a thing that was called bumping. Jojo, remember we used to cap on kids? It was like, yo, is there a party on your face? Because this bumping. Ah. But it was bumping where you could go up to somebody else and like, yo, you bump, and then like you would touch phones, pause. And then all of their info would be in it. I don't think people would even want to do that now. It's just like, don't touch me. I even think it's funny that people these days, like when they're like picking up people, will like, yo, put your number in my phone, and they just hand their phone to some stranger, and then they just, I'm not handing my phone to anybody. What are you doing? No, it's a whole different world. Paul Pate says we're trying to get some murals in our town. We will propose pitting. What's pitting mean? Oh, he does it again. We're trying to get some murals in our town. We're proposing putting QR codes on them. On the mural? Oh, kind of like doing standees, right? Like they have the little triangle in the back and you can stand them up. Yeah, I was doing standees back in the 90s. Conventions are all about branding. It's super true. But you just can't show up with like a marker. Like you gotta kit it up. I did. I just saw there's a. I'm still on a couple of old BlackBerry forums. And once when BlackBerry finally got the sign of the cross, my man Crackberry Kevin was like the dude. He was like the BlackBerry info guru. And that kind of went dark. I just saw that somebody's trying to kickstart a new keyboard phone, but I mean, I wouldn't get down with that. Like when the thing doesn't work, who are you going to complain to? Yeah, they were Sues. It didn't stick. And I was holding out. I was actually because I was going to get another phone, and I was holding out because they're like BlackBerry's coming back, and I've had millions of BlackBerry stories. I think I had a hashtag once was like, "Is that what was like? Is that oh they no hashtag they still make those? That's what it was." Yo, Shan, what's up, Shan? Kappa, stand up. Shannon says, "How many tables at comic book conventions have videos playing? Not a lot of them. And you know why that happens is because most people can't or not aren't thinking to get a electrical drop at their table, and that's expensive, and that's a union thing, and that's another cost at the convention center where you got to do that months ahead of time to fill out this paperwork that you need a drop at your thing. I mean, just to run a cord up into an eye into a like a monitor and play something. I've seen it. It was more like I think it was more popular when people thought they had to do a motion comic to sell their comic book. And I've seen people use it to really good effect, but I just don't think enough people do it. It probably could be simple enough for you just to like set an iPad up, but you also want to make sure it's not too close to the edge of the table, so you don't get vicked. Elton says too many tables at conventions. You know what? Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm out of the loop. When you were next to a video playing on a loop, you're ready to kill them. Yeah, Tracy for the animals. Tell them. Let's see what else we have here. All right, guys, I'm going to start wrapping it up. This was fun. I don't know how we got here. I didn't know we'd be talking about QR codes for 30 minutes, but okay. So, I mean, and that's kind of like one thing that like I need to be thinking about, or kind of like what's the future of me tabling. Um, but time will tell. I probably need a new banner. I need some new wraps. I guess we're gonna go back out on the road sooner or later. I just don't know what that's gonna look like, but it's gonna be interesting. Um, all right, let's see what else could we. Did I miss anything? We talked. What did we talk about tonight? We talked about Light Bright. All right, how about this? On our way out, what was your favorite board game as a kid? Go. And if you're an only child like me, what did you do? What did you do without having somebody else to play with? Yeah, people do that. The one thing though is like that stuff gets beat up pretty easily, and that's kind of like exhibitioning 101, but a lot of people don't do it. And I think, and I know, like as the years went by, I started to pack less and less because I just didn't want to bother with taking it back or getting it home or lugging it up the escalator. Or, as you know, the escalator is always going to be broken, or the elevator line is down the road, and you want to kind of keep it light. So, probably the last couple of years, like when I was promoting Protector of the Playground, I had a really bare bones setup. I always had, and this is something we can talk about on the way out. Yeah, you guys load up your favorite game. Fletch, what's Black Tower? I might you give me the hiccups. I might have to put the pause on that. Um, I always had I had a rolling suitcase, and in my rolling, not a rolling, I had a rolling like hockey bag, which was cool because it had a false bottom. Pause. Now I have a hiccup. That I could put like my clothes or something if I had to bring that thing to a hotel and I just didn't need to carry a bunch of stuff. I always had my tablecloth that my mother made me with the stars on it. If any of you guys have ever seen me at a show, my convention tablecloth, and I had one or two of those aluminum banners, the retractable banners, which is super cool. I've retired some of my old banners to the studio. I hung them up in the rafters. It's my fist stick knife gun one's over there, my Protector of the Playground's over there. And, some of my hacks were I would ship books to my hotel so I didn't have to lug them. That's a nice convention hack for you. Just send that stuff along courtesy of guest whatever and send them to the hotel and you just pick them up there and hopefully you don't have to bring them back. I got my stickers, I got my drink and my two-step, and then we're out of there on Sunday evening. All right, let's talk about your favorite games and then we're going to go home. Fletch said Black Tower. I have no idea what that is. Clue. All right. Mousetrap. I have never played Mousetrap. I've also never played Clue. I guess that's a lot to do with just like being an only child. You miss some of that stuff. I played a lot of Monopoly. Oh, of course, Electric Football. Paul Pate. I would expect nothing less. Here you go, GRD. Sip of coffee for only children. Where's my sippers at? Get your sippers up. Sip of coffee for us wild imagination only children. Because Mama said, Rick, get out my face and find something to do. Don't come to me telling me you're bored. You had to figure that out, yo. So JRD says, only child, so no games, just me and my just me and my Lego. Star Wars figures or I drew. Ronaldo says, sorry, we would be in fist fights over it. Wait, over what? Did I miss one of your things? Yo, what up, Angel? Yeah, D&D. I was thinking about board games, but of course Dungeons and Dragons is my favorite game. Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. Good to see you, brother. Matt says checkers. Hi ho Cheerio. I don't know why that made me laugh. Hi ho Cheerio is Susan's favorite game. I love it. Cards. I never play. You know what? I don't like cards because I would if anybody ever pulls out a pack of cards, I don't I bow out. There are a couple of card games I really like that aren't like card games, but they're like games with cards. Uno, of course, you can get into a knife fight over an Uno game. Phase 10 is really fun, and I think that might be it. Maybe Kino. What? No, that doesn't. You dirty gum hustler. Uno was good, yes. That's right, a hockey bag with false bottoms. That's where Hustle Man gets your DVDs from in the barbershop. Yo, my man, you want to see Wesley Snipes Murder 1600? Yeah, yeah. Fletch says Black Tower had an electronic tower that sat in the middle of the board, and it spun a column inside that lit it up with various images. It was a quasi D&D type board game. Yo, so there's a bunch of people out there that are like, "Oh, Hero Quest is my shot." We just played D&D, y'all. With y'all diet Dungeons and Dragons playing Hero Quest over here. Get out of here. Tracy for the Animal says, "Yeah, I don't miss setting up at Artist Alley. Too much work. In fact, I don't miss the cons at all. They're too exhausting. Yo, facts." Go for broke. It was like reverse Monopoly from Shan. Yo, I like Payday. Payday was fun. Or Sorry. Jamal says, "We never played Mousetrap. We just built the contraption." Uno was good. Kenny Wong says, "Yeah, no board games. We set up the couch and bed with pillows and blankets as our Star Wars." Bros says, "Growing up was Monopoly, but overall now it's either Ticket to Ride or Carcassonne." I love a good European board game. I know a lot of people I know some hardcore Catan players who you don't want to play with because they're so serious. It's like they kind of like melt all the fun out of it. Like, yo, relax, bro. 5 crowns for card-based games. Oh, spades. There you go. Got some spades. There's some. I guess dominoes are dominoes, right? And spades is spades. Come on, yo. Oh, cribbage. Yahtzee, nice. Like Yahtzee, when nobody would play, you could always shake the dice in the cup and to make fun. How bored were we? Phase 10. There were friends who. Yeah, that's real. Phase 10. There are friends who we don't talk to anymore because of that game. Never played Jenga. Yeah, man. I know people that have like modified Catan boards with like real ore on it and real wheat. It's crazy. Will Wheaton on the board. Yo, Ray Felix, always be showing up at the last minute. What up, bro? Jardy says, "Oh man, when I managed the comic shop, we hosted game nights, and geez, those folks argued like a UN Security Council. Yeah, Catan players are off the heezy for sheezy." All right, you guys, that's my time. We went over a little bit, but this was fun. Go ahead, Suze. Tell them. Say your goodbyes now, y'all, because when it's over, it's OVA, original video adaptation. What does OVA stand for anyway? With anime? Yeah, yeah, Ray, you missed it, bro. It's 9 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. Thank you, Tracy, for the animals. Come back again. We enjoyed your energy. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is what happens on coffee break. don't get mad, Ray. You just watched the replay. All right, thanks, you guys. If you ever want to see peeps kill a friendship, watch a game of diplomacy. You know what? I remember I played a game of Pandemic right before the pandemic. Was it our fault? Where's that voice coming from? From nowhere? It's great to see you guys. Thanks so much. All right, you guys, let's go home. You watch Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN, Government Jamar Nicholas, also DBA, Johnny Carson, DBA, John Luke Picard, make it so. DBA, Kevin Scrapple, because bacon was taken. What happened here tonight? You got to hang out with me and my caffeines, and we didn't shout out the caffeines. You know the caffeines are friends and regulars, not decaf for Coffee Break with JN. That's right, no decaf up in this Humpty Bumpty. No decaf up in this Major Falcon. And unfortunately, we've come to the end of our programming hour. Thank you so much. You got to hang out with me. Cartoonist, that's right. Don't forget I'm a cartoonist. Pick up Leon the Extraordinary. Pre-order that John today. You got to hang out with me and watch me run my mouth and drink this coffee. And now that I'm out of coffee, You know what happens next. See you next week. Tabernacle. Oh, hold on. I didn't do my John. I got a little extended John for you. You know what it is. Nothing's impossible.